The Tuesday morning sun cast long shadows across the financial district plaza, where glass towers reflected each other in endless repetition, and people in expensive suits hurried between meetings with barely a glance at their surroundings. It was the kind of place where everything moved fast and everything cost money, where the homeless were quickly moved along by security and children were rarely seen except on weekends with their investment banker parents, which made the little girl particularly noticeable. She sat on the edge of a concrete planter, her legs dangling, not quite reaching the ground. She couldn't have been more than 4 or 5 years old, with blonde curls that caught the morning light and serious blue eyes that watched the passing crowds. She wore a light blue dress that had once been nice but was now dirty and torn at the hem, showing stains that spoke of many days without washing. Her small hands clutched something, turning it over and over with the focused attention children bring to objects that fascinate them. To passers-by who bothered to glance at her, she looked like just another sad case. A child with a neglectful parent somewhere nearby, or worse, abandoned entirely. None of them stopped. This was the financial district. Everyone had somewhere important to be. The little girl didn't seem to expect anyone to stop. She just sat there, occasionally looking around as if waiting for someone. Her expression patient in the way of children who'd learned early that waiting was simply part of life. Then a man in a gray suit came walking quickly across the plaza, his attention on his phone, already late for a meeting he couldn't miss. He didn't see the little girl until he was almost past her, and he definitely didn't notice when something fell from his pocket and landed on the concrete with a small plastic click. But the little girl noticed. She watched as the man disappeared into the nearest building, then slid off the planter and picked up what he'd dropped. It was a card. Black, sleek, with gold lettering and a chip embedded in its surface. The kind of card that even someone as young as she was could recognize as important. The little girl studied the card for a moment, turning it over in her small hands. Then she looked in the direction the man had gone, her expression thoughtful. Most children that age might have kept the card, not really understanding what it was, but knowing it seemed valuable. Or they might have ignored it entirely, more interested in toys or games. But this little girl did neither. She climbed down from the planter, clutching the card carefully, and walked toward the building where the man had disappeared. Inside the lobby, everything was marble and glass and expensive-looking furniture. A security guard sat behind a large desk, and he looked up with immediate suspicion when he saw a dirty child walking in alone. "Hey, kid," he said, standing up. "You can't be in here. Where are your parents?" The little girl stopped, looking up at him with those serious eyes. "I need to find someone." "A man dropped this?" She held up the card. The security guard's eyes widened when he saw what she was holding. "Where did you get that?" "Outside. He dropped it and I want to give it back." The guard came around the desk, reaching for the card. "I'll take care of it. You need to go back outside now." But the little girl stepped back, holding the card against her chest. "No, I need to give it back to him myself. He might need it." "Kid, seriously, you can't be in here. Just give me the card and—" "Is there a problem, Tom?" Both of them turned. A man in his late 30s stood near the elevators, briefcase in hand, looking at the scene with raised eyebrows. He had brown hair, sharp features, and the kind of presence that came with authority. "Mr. Harrison," the guard said quickly. "This kid just walked in off the street. She's got a credit card. Says she wants to return it to whoever dropped it." The man, Harrison, looked at the little girl with interest. "Can I see the card?" The girl studied him for a moment, as if assessing whether he could be trusted, then held it out so he could see it without taking it. Harrison's expression changed immediately. "That's a Centurion card. Invitation only, no spending limit." "Tom, this is serious. Whoever lost this is probably panicking right now." He crouched down to the little girl's level, his voice gentler. "Can you tell me what the man looked like?" "The one who dropped it?" The little girl thought carefully. Tall, gray suit, brown hair. He was on his phone. "He went into this building." "That could be a lot of people," Harrison said. "But with a card like that." "Tom, check the directory. See who we have in the building that would qualify for a Centurion." "Already on it, sir." Harrison turned back to the girl. "What's your name?" "Emma." "Emma, I'm Graham." You did a very good thing, finding this card and trying to return it. Most people would have just kept it. It's not mine, Emma said simply, as if this was obvious. No, but it's worth, well, a lot. You could have used it to buy things. That would be stealing. Graham smiled. You're right. It would be. How old are you, Emma? 4.5. And where are your parents? Emma's expression closed off slightly. My mom was looking for work. She said to wait by the planters and she'd come back. Graham exchanged a glance with Tom, a 4-year-old, alone in the financial district, waiting for her mother who was out looking for work. The picture was becoming clearer and sadder. Mr. Harrison, Tom said, I've got 3 possibles. Richard Chen on the 15th floor, Michael Stewart on 22, and James Whitmore on 34. Call them, Graham said. Ask if they're missing a Centurion card. While Tom made calls, Graham stayed with Emma. She was extraordinarily composed for such a young child, but he noticed the way she held herself very still, as if trying not to take up too much space. The way her eyes tracked every movement, alert for danger. These were the behaviors of a child who'd learned to be careful, to read situations, to protect herself. Emma, when did you last eat? Graham asked gently. She thought about it. Yesterday. Mama got us sandwiches from the church. Graham felt his chest tighten. Are you hungry now? A small nod. Tom, who's checking in? All 3, sir. They're coming down to check. Good. Emma, let's sit over here while we wait for the man whose card this is. Would you like some juice or something while we wait? Emma nodded again. And Graham went to the small waiting area where there was a water cooler and, thankfully, a vending machine. He bought apple juice and a package of crackers, bringing them back to Emma. She took them carefully as if afraid they might be taken away, and drank the juice in small, controlled sips. She was about to open the crackers when the elevator dinged and a man in a gray suit emerged, looking harried. That's him, Emma said immediately. The man, James Whitmore, according to the building directory, looked around the lobby frantically. Tom, thank God you called. I've been tearing apart my office. I need that card for a transaction this afternoon, and... He stopped when he saw Emma holding up the black card. You're the girl? Whitmore asked, his voice incredulous. Emma nodded. You dropped it outside. I wanted to give it back. Whitmore took the card, checking it quickly to make sure it was really his, then looked at Emma with something like wonder. You found this and brought it back? Do you have any idea what you could have done with this card? It's not mine, Emma said for the second time. I can't use what's not mine. Whitmore laughed, a sound of relief and disbelief mixed together. You're about 4 years old and you have better integrity than half the people in this building. Thank you. Seriously, thank you. He pulled out his wallet, extracting several $20 bills. Here for being so honest. But Emma just looked at the money without taking it. I didn't do it for money. I did it because it was the right thing. Graham, who'd been watching this exchange, felt something shift in his chest. He'd spent 15 years working in finance, had seen every kind of greed and corruption, had watched people sell out, their principles for far less than an unlimited credit card. And here was a 4-year-old child in a dirty dress, refusing a reward because she'd done the right thing for its own sake. Emma, Graham said, Mr. Whitmore is trying to thank you. You don't have to take the money, but he wants to show his appreciation. Okay, Emma said. Can he give the money to my mama instead? She needs it more than me. Your mother? Whitmore asked. Where is she? Looking for work. She said to wait by the planters. Whitmore exchanged a glance with Graham, and Graham could see the same concern reflected there that he felt. Emma, Whitmore said, I'd like to help your mother, but I'd also like to do something for you. You returned something very valuable to me. What can I give you? What do you want? Emma thought about this seriously, her small face scrunched in concentration. Then she looked up at Whitmore with those serious blue eyes and said something that made everyone in the lobby go very quiet. Can you help my mama find a job? She's very smart and works very hard, but nobody will hire her because we don't have a house, and she doesn't have nice clothes. She tries so hard, but she cries at night when she thinks I'm sleeping because nothing is working. If you could help her get a job, that would be the best thing. Better than money, because then she wouldn't have to cry anymore. The lobby was absolutely silent. Graham felt tears prick his eyes, and he saw Whitmore wipe at his face quickly. What kind of work does your mother do? Whitmore asked, his voice rough. She used to be a teacher. But then my daddy died and we lost our house and everything got bad. She's trying to get back to teaching, but she needs an address for the school to hire her. And we can't get an address without money. And she can't get money without a job. It's all mixed up. Graham knew that trap. Had seen it play out countless times in the city. Homelessness creating barriers to employment, which perpetuated homelessness. A cycle almost impossible to break without help. Emma, Graham said, making a decision. What if I told you I might be able to help your mother? I work for a company that does a lot of hiring. We need good people. If your mother is willing to talk to me, I can at least give her an interview. Really? Emma's eyes went wide. Really? But I'd need to meet her. Is she coming back soon? She said by lunchtime. It was 10:30 now. Graham looked at his calendar, at the meetings he had scheduled, at the life he'd built that was all deadlines and bottom lines and profit margins. Then he looked at this little girl, who'd returned an unlimited credit card because it was the right thing to do, who'd asked for nothing for herself but everything for her mother. I'll wait with you, Graham said. Whitmore nodded. Me too. I've got a lunch meeting, but I'm canceling it. This is more important. Tom brought Emma more juice and crackers. Graham called his assistant and cleared his morning. Whitmore made some calls about the transaction he'd needed the card for, handling it remotely. And they waited. At 11:45, a woman appeared at the edge of the plaza. She was young, probably early 30s, with blonde hair pulled back in a ponytail and wearing jeans and a faded jacket. She looked exhausted, defeated, like someone who'd been fighting a losing battle for a very long time. Mama! Emma called, waving from inside the lobby. The woman's head snapped up and she ran toward the building. Tom had to let her in, quickly, before she panicked about her daughter being inside with strange men. Emma, what are you doing inside? I told you to wait outside. I'm so sorry, she said to the men. If she bothered you, she knows better than to... Mrs. Graham prompted. Thompson. Sarah Thompson. Emma, come here right now. Ms. Thompson, Graham said. Emma didn't do anything wrong. Actually, she did something remarkably right. She found a lost credit card and returned it. We've been waiting for you because we'd like to help. Sarah looked confused and wary. Help how? Look, I appreciate you being kind to my daughter, but we're fine. Emma, come on. Miss Thompson, Whitmore said, your daughter told us you're looking for work, that you used to be a teacher. Sarah's face flushed. She shouldn't have. Our situation isn't anyone else's concern. Maybe not, Graham said. But your daughter's integrity is remarkable. She returned a card worth potentially millions of dollars because it was the right thing to do. She asked for nothing for herself, only help for you. That kind of character doesn't happen by accident. You've raised an extraordinary child despite very difficult circumstances. That tells me you're someone worth knowing, someone worth helping. Sarah's eyes filled with tears. I'm trying so hard, but everything's against us. I can't get a job without an address, can't get an address without money, can't get money without a job. I used to be a good teacher. I had a life. Then my husband died and his medical bills bankrupted us and everything just collapsed. What if I could break that cycle? Graham asked. What if I could offer you a job with a salary advance for first month's rent on an apartment? Why would you do that? You don't know me. I know your daughter. And I know that someone who raised a child with that much integrity is exactly the kind of person I want, working for my company. What kind of company? Educational software. We develop learning programs for schools. We actually need someone with teaching experience to help design curriculum. The pay is good, benefits included. And we have emergency housing assistance for employees in transition. Sarah stared at him. This is a joke. Things like this don't happen. They do, Whitmore said. Sometimes when you do the right thing, good things come back to you. Your daughter did the right thing. Let us do the right thing back. Sarah looked down at Emma, at her small daughter who'd somehow found a way to help when Sarah had run out of options. Is this what you want, baby? For Mama to take this job? I want you to stop crying at night, Emma said simply. Sarah broke down then, crying in the lobby of a financial building, while her 4-year-old daughter patted her hand and told her it would be okay. Graham gave her time to compose herself, then got her contact information and arranged for her to come to his office the next day for a formal interview. Whitmore added